Welcome to Business Authority Radio, bringing you insights from today's thought leaders, professionals, and influencers. With your hosts, Neil Howe and Craig Williams.
Hello, welcome to the show. This is your host, Neil Howe. I'm here with my co-host, Craig Williams. Welcome, Craig.
Welcome, John and Neil.
We are also here with John Howe. John Howe is the founder of Buckhead Wine Cellars, and we're going to be talking about the wine business today, Craig. So welcome, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, let's get right into it. We are talking about the wine business, but what kind of business do you do involving wine?
What we do is we provide storage and security. And we also have a logistics business. So we transport wine, private wine collections all over the country.
We're here on location at your facility in the Howe Mill area. You also have one in Buckhead, is that right?
The original one opened May of 2009 in Buckhead, correct.
We've just taken a tour, Craig, and they've got a ton of wine back there.
Literally a ton of wine back there. Probably more than a ton, I would say.
Probably. Oh yeah, for sure.
So tell me why there is such a big need for wine storage.
Well, it's several reasons. One of them is as folks grow their collections, they tend to outgrow their existing space and they need offsite storage. Similar to public storage and store-all and those type of facilities, but we just happen to be focused in the niche just for wine. And so for us, what we do is we provide a safe, secure, value-oriented environment for investors and collectors.
So you say your clientele would be mainly investors and collectors?
Primarily, that's primarily our clientele. There are some enthusiasts who are amongst us, and then there are some that are all the above. I count myself as one of those. I'm a collector who's an investor, who's an enthusiast.
Yeah, I would say so. This is a great investment you've made for your wine as well as others. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So as far as somebody, what stage do they need to get to realize that they need to put their wine in storage rather than have it in their house? I imagine moving is one of those times in their life where they think, I don't want to move all this wine, or I don't have enough in my next place.
Oh yeah, that happens as folks start to downsize. They move from the 5, 7, 10,000 square feet homes with the big cellars to condos and things of that nature. Then you got a huge wine collection of 1,000 bottles or 1,500 bottles or what have you. Where am I going to put this?
Yeah.
What am I going to do with it? And so we become that option for them. So that's a certain segment of our membership. The other segment it can be people who are just getting into it. Getting to the point where you buy wines. Most wine, 80-90% of it is meant to be drunk today. So when you go to your wine shop and you buy things off the shelf, but that 10 to 20% that needs to be laid down, needs to to be aged in order for you to experience its fullest potential. We provide facilities offsite for that. And it's more economical to lease than it is to build your own wine cellar and that type of thing. Plus, we offer amenities. We receive shipments for folks. We have this room that we're in right now. So we do bring in winemakers and host some members only type of events. And we also provide, I just showed you our backup generator, so when power goes out, which happens a lot around here, with the storms and all that kind of nonsense, we're Johnny on the spot and everything keeps humming. So you don't have to worry about that type of thing. And we monitor remotely, our humidity and our temperature 24/7. So, why be worried about that at your house and you go on vacation and you come back and this has happened, where folks have, come back from vacation and they call us frantically because, the electricity went off and the wine fridge is out, and my bottles are starting to sweat, and that happens. It happens at least once or twice a year. So
you got me thinking about public storage, because I've used public storage over the years in many transitions, and there isn't, they have the indoor, but it's not consistent, and it's probably not consistent for just wine. It's just consistent for staying cool in Atlanta.
Correct. Yeah.
When you're moving around. And what I've seen here and at your other location is a consistency of always, it's peace of mind. Basically, membership here is peace of mind for an individual who's at whatever level they are with their relationship with the wine collection. And you gave me that visual of that person downsizing, or maybe that person who starts at a condo and they become a wine connoisseur, but they don't have the room for it, and they want to have it in a safe place, even though it would be nice to have it all over their walls, but there's only so much you can do in a condo or what have you. So also you talked about the benefits of membership, having tastings here. It seems like your membership could have their own. This is a great facility that could accommodate. Do you all have that type of an event?
Yeah. We encourage members to at the Buckhead location. I got some lawyers who stop by at least once a month. I've had a guy who actually, it was interesting because I got a little bit involved in it, where they were putting their case together.
Wow.
And so as you put your case together, you're bouncing ideas off how you're going to present certain aspects of it. So they called me in and said, hey, we bounce this off of you and see what you think, because you're just like juror number A. and they're sitting there drinking some wine and got their flip chart up and going through stuff, and
wow.
But we've had other members who've hosted their own events, and we encourage members, if there's about 4 or 6 kind of guys or gals or whatever coming by and just want to stop by and crack a bottle, we keep stemware on site. They're welcome to do that, and before they go out for dinner on a Friday.
Wow.
We actually had a guy last week. He was celebrating a birthday, and so he stopped in and went to his locker, and it was about 5 or 6 of them, and they drank some wine and had some cheese and whatnot, and then they went to Aria, I believe, and then they came back after dinner.
It was a destination.
And then they came back after dinner. And so,
You usually don't look at storage units as destinations.
Definitely not. So, is there 24-hour access to people who want to get access to their wine? Now, you talked a little bit about the problems with the power going out. Tell us a little bit more about the actual wine temperature and why that would be a problem for the wine.
Well, you want to keep your wine, you're trying to mimic the environment of a cave. And so you want to keep your wine, the French kind of learned this, and probably the Romans did before them, that, you can, if you have a certain level of humidity and you have a certain temperature that's constant. And so you want to maintain constant temperature. And so we try to keep it within a pretty tight variation between 55 and 59 degrees. And we want to keep our humidity at about 50 to 70%, and so, that gives you an environment where your corks won't dry out. It gives you an environment where the wine is still aging, because it's a living thing, but it's aging more on a more consistent, slower pace. And so those things, so there's a difference between climate control. So when you hear so we don't really use that term in this trade. We say refrigerated storage, because that's what it is. We use refrigeration because we're trying to keep humidity at a certain level, like in your refrigerator,
right.
And we're trying to keep the temperature at a certain level.
Now, as far as the time frame, like use the refrigerator example, what kind of time frame would the wine spoil if it's not kept within that temperature?
It depends on the wine. You can maintain wine in your home. I did it for years, and if it's in a cool kind of, I won't say dry place, but a somewhat dry place, but a cool place where the temperature is constant. So if you got a place in your basement in a corner, where the temperature is like 65 degrees, you'll be okay. You know, I mean, your corks will dry out a lot faster. You know, but you'll be okay for a good bit of time. You know, a couple of years. You know, so, but, you know, the thing that so it depends on kind of what you want to do. If you want to maintain the provenance, which is almost like the chain of evidence, you know, of your collection, you know, so that's a service we provide our members too, is that, you know, say they want to sell some of their collection, you know, we offer them, you know, for the time they're here, we can verify the provenance of the wine. Yeah. We can tell them that the wine has been stored for X amount of time, you know, and that's of value to people who are buying in the secondary market.
So obviously this is a finite audience. You know, I see Kevin O'Leary all the time. He's a wine enthusiast, and one of the things that he always says, and I'm not sure if I've got my facts right, but basically 97% of all wine sold is for under $13. I'm guessing that's not your audience.
Yeah, not your Trader Joe's.
Yeah. No, and I would say if you were storing that, you'd just be wasting your money. You know, that's just the truth.
So what kind of people need storage? What kind of businesses do they do that they can afford to buy all these wines and have them stored?
You got all kind of folks in here. You got entrepreneurs, you know, business owners, corporate execs, you know, then
institutions. You do have some institutions that have.
Oh yeah, we got importers. You know, we got a lot of small importers. I got an Italian importer. I see a guy who's bringing in growers champagne into the market in a big way. It's got some really nice stuff. So we have business owners as far as you know, folks that are in the business, the importers and whatnot. You know, but for the most part, you know, it depends on each individual's kind of, you know, it's not a young man's game that I found, but we got some younger folks in that are, you know, transitioning from enthusiasts into enthusiast collectors, investors, you know. So as you kind of transition into that,
so let's talk about that investing part of it. Obviously, if you hold a wine for an extended period of time, it's going to be worth more. What does that kind of look like over the years as far as a gain?
Well,
speaking of ROI,
right? Yeah. Wine, you know, that's we could have a whole another radio show on that.
We'll do that. We will do that. I promise you, we will do that.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, folks.
You really can. But the crib notes on it, you know, investing in wine is just like investing in real estate, because that's what you're doing. You know, so it's a real estate play at its basis, as most base level, and so you gotta find real estate that's worth investing in. You know, the best stuff, I will say, the best stuff never makes it to a retail shelf. You know, kind of like Georgia peaches this year aren't going to make it to Boston. Why? Because you can sell them out closer to home. You know, the really best stuff that you can get, you know, and I can throw out some names, you know, but the best stuff that you get literally are on mailing lists that you might spend 5 years waiting to get on. Wow. You know, if not 6 or 7. You know, and there's some lists that I actually applied for in 2007 and 2008 that I have yet to get on now.
Wow.
So, you know, I'm still waiting. I still get the letter every year. Oh, we're sorry to inform you. But be patient. Your time is coming. So, you know, so there are some lists you literally don't get on until somebody dies.
Wow.
So what does this best stuff look like? Is there, like, the French wine, is that notoriously the best, or does it come from all over?
Homegrown, I would say now.
It comes from all over. But yeah, you know, Napa is, you know, is prominent. You know, as a matter of fact, there's a movie, Bottle Shock, that talks about, you know, 1976 when, you know, the Napa Valley wines in a blind tasting beat the Bordeaux for Scrubs.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not like Napa is, you know, like not on the map. It is. It's you know, and the best stuff that's come out of there. It's a worldwide commodity and worldwide demand for it also. So.
And what are we talking about? The highest price paid for a bottle of wine?
It depends, you know, on the vintage and I can't speculate. I do know there's some Burgundies. There's some Burgundies, and there's some Bordeaux, and there's some Napa stuff that'll go from anywhere from $500 to a couple $1,000s a bottle. So
he can't disclose what's here, but he's just talking about in the market. Because now they did say they have security here, and I definitely will attest they have security here, folks. So,
but it just it depends, and the Bordeaux variety, the first growth Bordeaux, second growth, most people know those. If people know Lafite, they know. And I'm trying to take away from naming names because nobody's paying me for advertising.
Yes.
Yeah. So. There's some famous Napa stuff out there, and there's some stuff out of Australia that's really good, and there's some up and coming markets in Argentina and Chile and places like that. So, the best stuff right now, I would say that there's a worldwide demand for is definitely the French, between Champagne, between Burgundy and Bordeaux, and then there's Napa. And, those are kind of like the spots right now. And then there's Italy. I'm not gonna forget them. Yeah. I kind of cut my teeth on cheap Italian wine, so I tend to know that a little bit more. But yeah, again, it's one of those things. My plan is at some point when I'm not as busy is to actually go back to my alma mater. I graduated from shout out to Atlanta University Clark Atlanta University. I got my MBA there in '83. And my plan at some point is to go back and actually teach a class on, wine, the culture of wine, investing in wine as a business, that type of thing. I just don't have time for it right now, but,
Well, hey, as we're going back there, let's take it back to the beginning. What got this whole thing started for you?
That's an interesting question. What really got started for me was I was kind of getting tired of my corporate life. And my daughter said to me and my wife kind of in a joking way, well, you guys are always buying wine, blah, blah, blah. And you're always talking about it. Why don't you just get into the business? And that
out of the mouth of babes.
Yeah. And that, I won't go back further, but I could. But that's kind of what got me into the wine business from an enthusiast into looking at it as actually a way to make a living. And so from there, I opened a shop. I was in the retail game for about 5 years. Victim of the recession, making enough money to pay the bills, that type of thing. Looking at the prospects of growth potential and competition that was coming. Opened the Buckhead location in 2009. So I was doing kind of both simultaneously and working about 80 hours a week. And, just came to the conclusion there was more potential and a better life for me in the storage business than it was in the retail game. So I let the retail business go, and the rest is kind of history. So now we have 2 locations and opening up a third in Charlotte sometime this year, and gotta probably head it in your direction soon wherever you are. So, so we got plans. Awesome. So that's kind of where we are.
So it obviously is a successful business for you to have that kind of growth in such a short time. And what are the plans going forward from here as far as expansion to the rest of the country? We have expansion plans. We have committed capital. We'll be opening a Charlotte location sometime this year. I literally just got off the phone with my partner. And we were just talking about, putting together the operating agreement, that type of the legal things, the subscription agreement, because we have commitments for more than half of what we need to open. So we're ready to pull the trigger and get started.
Will this be a franchise or a publicly or private? What's the licensing?
What's the business model?
Yeah, what's the business model?
No, what we like, we prefer to have owner operators.
Yeah.
So, we'll have somebody who has a piece of the action, actually physically their ownership, in each market.
And that's the logistics business as well. I mean, you're not just a storage. As you said earlier, you are a logistical company that helps from the beginning of taking the wine from where it is to where it can be
right,
and monitoring it and securing it as well. So that's a lot more than just a wine storage.
Correct.
Business. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. The logistics, as a matter of fact, this is prime time for that business because people are moving. And so what happens is if you're moving, and it doesn't really have to be a wine cellar. If you just got a wine refrigerator and you're moving and you got 5 cases, 10 cases of wine, and you're moving from, let's just say, LA to Boston. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, your wine's got to get there some way.
Yeah.
And in July, the only way it's going to get there is, without being cooked, and turned to vinegar, is on a refrigerated truck, and there's logistics involved in that. There's somebody's got to pick it up, somebody's got to pack it, and it's got to move. And it doesn't move with your other household belongings. It's moving in a different. So we provide everything. We're kind of a full service organization. We are a full service organization. So we can arrange everything from pack, pick up at site, to unpack and put away at the other site. So we kind of at them. We let the client kind of dictate what their needs are and what they're willing to pay for, and then we price it accordingly and move. So and we're moving a lot of product right now. So
how have you been getting the word out about your business in the last few years?
A good bit of it's been word of mouth.
Over a glass of wine. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good, but and we've done I've heard people use the term guerrilla marketing. Initially, we did a lot of we canvassed, we handed out flyers, we did things. I've been a sponsor at the High Museum Wine Auction for years. And so, we've done a lot of things like that, and we just networked, and we're kind of putting that into a comprehensive marketing plan as we go forward. Things that we know that work, things that we know that didn't work, so that when as we expand, we can just hit the ground running, so to speak. So, that's kind of what we've done and how we've done it and how we've gotten known. And, and now, people find us. We got a web presence, and, most everybody does. It's in business these days, but I've never been of the belief that you waited for business to come to you. Yeah. You just went out and got, and you found those people. So that's what we do. We go out and we bring those people in.
So as far as somebody that is contemplating having their wine stored, what would be the biggest thing that they have to think about to really see if they would qualify?
Again, minimums?
Yeah. Our smallest locker goes for $25 a month, $300 a year, and we charge a $50 membership fee for. Because it's more like a club membership. Yeah, the $50 gives you, access to the members room. It gives you can ship, anything, pretty much. I mean, I've had people actually ship pallets here. Well, you've seen them, so and we'll receive those for you, put them away in your locker, or put them in a our secured pallet storage area, depending on where it needs to go. And so, those are kind of the 2 major benefits, and then everything else is pretty much, being able to come by and bring your friends and those type of things. Those are kind of friends, the fact that we bring in winery owners and winemakers, and, we do some exclusive tasting events. We got, I think one in August. We'll probably do one August, September, October, one a month, for the rest of the month, starting in August. I haven't done them in a while. I've been busy, and we have interest in, several really well-known wineries that want to do these things. Just because they kind of know what our membership is, and they want their members to actually be, if not purveyors, at least talking about them. Because there are people asking them for recommendations. Well, what's good? Well, I went to a tastings over at Buckhead Wine Cellars, and they had the guys from Silverado in, or whatever. So
membership has its privileges still.
Yeah, that's true. So
well, we're talking with John Howe here from Buckhead Wine Cellars. John, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
You can call us at either of our locations. Or you can visit us on the web at www.buckheadwinecellars.com. And the phone numbers are 678-973-2600. And the other location is 470-419-5974.
And those other numbers will be available soon as they come to a location near you.
There you go.
Well, thanks very much for being our expert guest today, John. We've enjoyed talking about wine, Craig.
Certainly an authority in this industry, and looking forward to helping you grow.
And to all our audience, to those wine lovers out there, if you like what you hear, hit that like button and share, and we'll see you next time on the show.
Thank you much.
You've been listening to Business Authority Radio with Neil Howe and Greg Williams. To learn more about the resources mentioned in today's show, or to listen to past episodes, visit businessauthorityradio.com.